Welcome to Chart, where we chat about art. This week we'll be tackling the serious topic, should celebrities be artists? With a special focus on Britney. Britney, Brit Dog.
We are Finn, Mara, Javier and Christy, and thank you for tuning in to listen to Chart Podcast. We are so stoked to have you here with us and that you take some time out of your day to hear us discuss any things that are happening in the art world. Without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Let's roll.
Yesterday night I was in the shower. And
You shower sometimes.
And sometimes I do a shower. And I thought, you know what, what should be a good question of the week this week? And I just seen something on YouTube where they were playing Fuck, Marry, Kill. And I thought we could do it together, as there would be 3 other people for the person to choose. So it would be a perfect number. I think this is good because it will both create conflict, but also bring us closer together in the end. I think we need to agree not to be offended. or hold resentment.
Okay, just give it us already.
Yes.
Who would you fuck, marry, kill?
Okay. I'm going to start with kill.
Okay.
I'm really sorry. It would be Javier.
Spoiler.
Shocker.
It's not because I hate you. It's just that I feel maybe we would get into a huge altercation on something, and I would be so fed up, I would just kill you.
Like Carl Andre and
Yeah. I have more exposure than you do, Javier.
It would be maybe a sort of Carl Andre, Mendes Stitch. Sorry, I hope we're still friends after this.
I'll find it in my heart to forgive you for this.
Okay, thank you. I would marry Finn. I think, and obviously that means that I'd be having sex with Christy. I'll explain my reasoning.
Okay.
As my co-star states, I have that chemistry with Christy. It's undeniable. It's just undeniable. Sorry.
I must do what the stars tell me to do.
I think that, if I was that way inclined, I would ask Christy on a date and make it happen.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Christy wouldn't get attached, and she would just be like, okay, could you
Bye.
leave now? Yeah. So I like that. I would marry Finn because he seems like, if I made a bad decision, be like, that wasn't that great. And he'd be level-headed about it. And he'd be a really, who your parents would want you to be with.
Yeah.
Your parents would be he's so nice. He's so lovely.
So nice voice.
I feel like he would treat you so well. He would be I got you flowers. He'd be the kind to do that thing where you get the subscription that you get flowers every week on a Thursday. He just gives me
You get
that
a subscription
vibe.
for flowers?
You can, yes.
Oh my god.
That's it, guys.
Okay, who wants to go next?
Also, I felt maybe I could manipulate Finn into getting what I want.
You were doing so well, and then
That's her actual reason.
That's the real reason. If at the wedding would be you'd be I really don't like lilies, and I'd be like, really? They're my favorite. I guess if we can't even agree on the flowers, why are we getting married? So yeah.
But then you'd rather marry a person that you might have a disagreement about.
No, because it wouldn't be a big deal, but I would just try and manipulate the situation to get what I want.
fair enough.
With Javier, I couldn't do that because he would fight till the death. And I can't deal with that.
I'd probably be like, yeah, sure, whatever flowers you want. And then you would be there on the wedding day and they would be my flowers.
With Christy, she's so I feel like she'd be spontaneous about it. And I need to plan stuff. So that just the core of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Finn would be yes, let's do the wedding, but I would want it my way.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah. Let's start with Javier because he's had kind of the rough end of it there, but
I hadn't even thought about it. So I think I would kill Finn.
Oh,
Because I've been married to him like for a while. I need to like
Get rid of him now.
begin anew. I'll probably fuck Mara to annoy her.
oh, that would be so annoying.
There you go. And I would have to marry Christy because we were like meme compatible. That is very important in a
That's true.
partner. We both do stuff like paint and type. Yeah.
We both do stuff.
Yes, she's Chinese, so we would be a diverse couple. That is useful.
That's true. You'd be diverse.
And she has like colored hair, which I like. I appreciate that in people. And she doesn't take herself too seriously, and that is the most attractive thing I ever find about people. When you can self-meme.
Okay, fine.
So that's why.
Wow.
Okay, but he was like, I haven't thought about it, but then had like really good reasons.
Well, yeah, once I killed you and fucked you, I was like, all the reasons why I would marry Christy. Wow.
It's true. I think the compatibility level with the marriage one is the most important.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, who would you actually get along with forever?
Yeah.
Okay. As Finn was killed, what's your choice, Finn?
Well, I will kill you too, Javier. It's fine.
Oh, I thought you guys would marry each other.
I thought we had something going, but
Have you changed your choice since you've?
He probably just changed it now. Who's gonna marry
I mean, they've literally just recently filed divorce.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah, we did. Did we?
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
I think you guys started it when you were in Dusseldorf.
That was too long ago.
yeah.
Okay, so I died. Who do you?
I would fuck Mara because I feel like I would never live up to her standards.
Oh my god.
And I think Christy's just a lot of fun. I would have so many adventures in a marriage with Christy.
And you can take care of the fucking wedding because I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
That's another thing. I wouldn't even marry.
That's true.
It would be a wedding.
That's true.
I'm just like, I'll find a nice dress from Amazon, £100, perfect.
I feel like if I would go on a date with Mara and I would come out with a colorful cake, she would look at me like, "Oh, you're wearing that."
No,
I'd be like, "Are you changing before?" Or, I get it's
5 times. Yeah.
I would. Cause when you said you would come out, and I was like, you meant you would come out like £200 less.
Oh, you would. No, because I feel Finn would be like, no, let me get this. I think this kind of person.
Possibly.
But I would obviously do the fake, like, let me get my purse, like, let me rummage for it. You know, that's at the bottom of my bag. And
so you want Finn to pay for your dinner.
And then just, well, like, I feel it's a debate. It's another episode, but I really feel like it's a lovely if a boy pays for the first date. After that, we can split everything. I just think it's so, I know, but I just think it's such a lovely gesture. Like, you've asked me out, you're paying for the date. Yeah, I don't know. I just like that. Or you get the first round of drinks and then I get it, or we have dinner and you get it and then I get the drinks after that. I don't know. I've always liked that. I just like it. I know it's wrong.
A little.
It's debate.
It's like, eating Marmite with a spoon. It's wrong.
I couldn't be married to you. It would just be much.
Marmite with
like,
a spoon.
The second I'm in a date and the girl was like, "Are you gonna pay?" I'd be like,
"Why would you ask?
Done.
You don't ask at the beginning." Oh,
well, yeah, but the second I realized she's expecting me to pay, I'd be like.
But I would never be like just waiting there like this as the.
But you would be like, "Oh, where's my wallet?"
I would look for my wallet and I'd be like, "Oh, let's split," and then the person's usually. Very often the person's like, "No, I'll get this," and I'm like, "That is so kind, thank you, bye."
I would be like, "Good idea, let's split."
Yeah. I know
your face would be like,
"Good idea."
No, I think Mara would just be too much for my head.
Yeah. I need someone who can handle this.
Yeah.
I don't think I can.
Please.
No,
send submissions.
I'm still looking for someone who can.
That only leaves Christy.
Christy, go ahead.
3 things. I don't really know who do I want to kill. I think I like to fuck both Finn and Mara because Finn's got a
Like
not.
at the same time?
No,
or
I don't think so. Not at the same time.
that could be like an Aries
I mean, it
sandwich.
could be on the same time. I don't know. It's just because Finn got a really nice bed, and I really want to like.
Oh, he would he'd have fresh sheets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It would like fit in the co-star perfectly.
And then after he'd be like, "Do you want to borrow a pair of trackies?"
It'd be like, I just like go to his wardrobe, pick out a t-shirt, spill some shit on my trousers, and be like, gonna put it in the wash for
It might
300
give
years.
PTSD from. Are you gonna pick to kill someone, or do you think you just can't?
No, you have to kill someone. That's the fucking
But
game.
I don't. Yeah, I know, but I don't know who do I want to kill. I mean, if it's like fuck, marry, kill, then I'll probably kill Mara because I want to be a heterosexual. No, not that I want to. I am.
Yeah.
As,
I'll let it
as
happen.
long as I fucking say.
I'm aspiring to be heterosexual.
I'll let it happen.
Okay, brilliant.
If you do it quick and like nice.
Okay, do you prefer a stabby or a shooty?
I think something like a pill, and then I fall asleep and I just don't wake up.
To be shot, then I think that's the quickest thing over.
I want to do the pill.
Well, yeah,
thing,
but you have that moment of agony where you see like the gun pointing at you.
But I don't want to be told about the pill.
Well, yeah, in the back it's.
I just
No,
want
but
to be
then
like,
I swear, in
bed.
Switzerland, I think in Switzerland you can like die.
In Switzerland, you can commit suicide. Yeah, it's insane.
But I want it to be a surprise. Like I don't want to know that it's gonna happen.
Okay, I'll put it in your tea.
Okay.
Or actually, I'll try to
put a piano on a rope and wait until you walk.
My last
What was it? Was it a bar of chocolate that was poisonous?
When
they were trying to kill Hitler.
Oh.
They try to kill Hitler in so many ways.
Yeah.
Was it a bar of chocolate that was poisonous, or was it
I don't remember.
some
I know
strange bear?
I know they put a bomb inside a whiskey bottle. They put a bomb in a suitcase, and probably they did a chocolate. They tried everything to kill Hitler.
Yeah.
None of it worked. Talk about elusive people.
I put a little pill in your those things that you were eating today.
What?
The fruit nectarine.
In my nectarine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's like my last favorite food, you know, and you should just mention before, like, hey, have you made a will? I'll be like, no, I haven't. You're like, oh, you should really do that.
And put me on top.
Yeah, and just make sure I get everything.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
I'll probably marry Javier because
The only one left.
banter.
Makes sense.
Just like mega banter, and I feel like I'm gonna learn more. Like I just feel like I'm gonna learn so much
investment.
more.
I feel the only agreement we've come to in this with two people is the union between Javier and Christy.
Yeah, in another life.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What's up next?
Well, if we're 40 and we're single, you know.
Wow. Hit me up, mate.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, maybe just get a place together, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my name secretly in that Dalston place that you're staying.
Oh yeah. My girlfriend's gonna love that.
Just tell
me like, hey, Ito, what's up?
You know, you have to be transparent.
Oh yeah, by the way, Christy's moving in.
You have to be transparent, okay? You've got to tell your girlfriend about this because
she's gonna see this episode and maybe leave me. She'll probably be cool about it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I like that. You know,
what?
She obviously has to be cool about it because you've just said, both of you, we're gonna, like we would so get along, like 100% memes.
She's very laid back with this sort of thing. She would never be like jealous or anything.
Well, she's got to stick around until age 40.
Exactly. I hope she sticks around over age 40, so I don't have to marry you.
Oh, thank you, wife. Alternate wife. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
I'm so glad we played this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you two assholes want to kill me. And
we might do it together. Like
I married you first.
We might just do it together. So. Also, no offense, Javier, but it was like 2 Aries and then you, and so we've decided you're the odd one out. We want to get rid.
Makes sense.
Fair play.
Okay, cool, guys. I'm so glad we did this.
I have a lot of opinions about her first solo show, but please, Mara, do tell us about Britney and her
I'll
art.
give you a little overlook. Some of your favorite celebrities could also be artists, but should they? Shouldn't they just stick to what they know? You don't need to answer that question. You don't need to answer that. However, this episode will focus mostly, or maybe a bit more, on our collective favorite celebrity, Britney Spears. I think we can all agree. And I would like to firstly acknowledge the most recent scandal attached to her.
Oh,
Yes, I just want to acknowledge it. So
What
it shows.
scandal?
it's happening.
Oh, what scandal? Let me tell you. So recently, the hashtag Free Britney movement was started, and it became like an increasingly big thing that people were actually taking seriously in the end. So her dad put her under conservatorship for 12 years. So when she had, a bit of a mental breakdown in 2007 or 2008, she was put under conservatorship. Okay, what does that mean, you may be asking? I'll let you know. It means that he has financial control over her, including her career, her personal life, and her health. He doesn't allow her to drive, and all her calls and messages are monitored. She can't vote. She can't hang out with people without asking, and she cannot spend money without his permission, and she cannot have more children without asking.
How does this thing exist?
I know, it's because like they thought she was, sometimes it's a good thing. Like I think Michael Jackson had it, and it's when you are likely to be harm to yourself. So it's meant to be like temporary, just for a bit whilst you're going through something and you resolve it.
But how long has she been like this?
12 years.
Wow.
It's not meant to have been this long, but the dad just like kept it because I'm sure he gets something. I mean, everyone's saying it's because he just skims money off the top and is able to like control her money. He's like, no way, I'm not doing that. Anyway, so if she disobeys these rules, she gets her children taken away from her. So she has to do it. And now there's like loads of petitions that are like, please release her from her conservatorship. Although she's not actually publicly said anything. She never said like, I really don't want to do this anymore. But people read through, the lines that she wanted to not be controlled anymore with her lyrics or her Instagram videos. And maybe she was acting a bit weird.
She can even write lyrics of her own.
Well,
lyrics though?
I don't know. I'm telling you the tea that I found online.
Okay, fine.
So that's recently what's been happening with her. Okay, now we're going to move on to her artwork. So anyway, perhaps to de-stress from this situation, in what has been called a Brit-naissance. Okay, the Brit-naissance. Britney has shared her love of painting on social media. She says she finds it therapeutic. Okay? She has previously donated this art to charity auctions, and they've sold for around $10,000. So, like, they sell for quite a bit of money. Prior to lockdown, it was announced that she'd be exhibiting with a French art gallery, although later she denied that and said that wasn't true.
And that all happened in January.
Like, have a super quick, she was literally recently, and then she said, no, that's not true, which obviously very sad. It's fine. In the paintings I've seen, it's like usually flowers with like bright purples and blues and yellows and that kind of thing. And it's quite like a naive style. That's not to say that she doesn't know how to paint. That is the style in which it's in.
Sure. Yes.
Of course.
No, don't sue me.
Yeah.
So other celebrities have also been doing bits. Like Gigi Hadid does lino prints to chill. Alexa Chung draws. Actually, I really like Alexa Chung's drawings, and she's illustrated books in the past. And she is very it's on her Instagram all the time, and she's actually quite good at. I like what she does.
Who's Alexis Chan?
Alexa Chung is a British model.
Oh.
But she also has a clothing brand now, and she's cool. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
She's also designed books packaging for different brands with her drawings. Macaulay Culkin also does bits. Jim Carrey, Miley Cyrus, Lucy Liu, Johnny Depp, David Bowie, and then also people like Shia LaBeouf and Lady Gaga have tried their hand at like more conceptual and performance art.
Right.
We all know Shia LaBeouf did that thing where he watched all his movies, and then you watched him watching his movies.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do an episode only on Shia LaBeouf.
Okay.
His art is fascinating.
So he's done that, and then I think recently he exhibited a anti-Trump strident, and Gaga recently stripped for a video in which she adopts the durational method invented by Marina Abramovich. So those are like she's quoting or she's referencing another artist here. She's not just like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. So she knows her stuff.
The question is, should they do this? I want to firstly start with the fact that as I was writing this, I thought artists like David Bowie and also singer with a guitar, Bob Dylan. Thank you. Did you like that description?
I could see it in front of me.
I'm sorry. Bob Dylan, David Bowie. The fact that they both did art, for some reason, I'm willing to accept it more. Not than her in particular, but like just generally other pop artists.
Yeah.
I just feel they started doing their own thing, and it then became popular. But also, they were in control of like the creativity and the imagery that surrounded them, and you know what their albums look like, and they had much more control over what they were making. Especially because Bob Dylan's lyrics are not just like a repetitive pop lyric going round and round. Like it is a very thought through kind of like a poem.
Yeah.
So for some reason I accept them more, and I don't know why.
I think that, you know, people like David Bowie, Bob Dylan and Paul McCartney and other like singers and celebrities that paint and are in that kind of singers are more self-made, in the sense that they don't depend that much on on like big record producers and stuff like that. And you know,
and they write their own lyrics.
So they're like they do their music. It's not like, you know, not to insult the artistic gifts of people like Lady Gaga and all these people,
Grande.
but normally, or Ariana Grande, but normally these pop stars are much more controlled by the record labels, and they like have like this team of songwriters behind, and they like everything they deliver. That's why I generally don't like them, because they don't feel genuine to me. People like David Bowie, funnily, he was like at the top of the music world, but he always did stuff himself. Like he did. That's why he's so weird in so many ways.
But they also surrounded themselves, I think, a lot more with like in an artistic circle rather than Britney.
So it's kind of like, you know, they're surrounding themselves with people who make stuff, or they deliberately kind of stemmed away
also,
from
like,
that.
they have that influence like around them. Like they have the creative influence, and then they create stuff. So it's not just like the record label going, this is the vibe we're going to go for your next album. And then you go and hang out with your friends who like, you know, are not writers, artists, whatever.
Right.
I also thought maybe this idea of like they want to be seen as an artist is because they have a lot more control over what they're making, what people are seeing, kind of like social media, where they control the way they look and what they do, whereas their lives are very restricted by like contractual obligations and that kind of thing. And they can just do it. And I think also art is the ones that they've been making is such an authentic personal expression, whereas, you know, everything else is so figured out, and, you know, what's the album going to look like, and what should your merch look like, and all that. Especially with like Lady Gaga and like Shia LaBeouf, where they're really trying to they want to tell you something, whereas like, you know, Britney's doing it because I imagine, I haven't asked her, but it's like an aesthetic feeling, you know, she just wants something nice.
It's very, I mean, in a way, it's very her. It's very Britney.
Yeah, that's
and she is kind of, I mean, not necessarily enhancing her already existing aesthetic since she was like 14, 16.
Yeah.
She started singing when she was 14, 16.
She was like so young.
Yeah, she was so young, and she was singing like Toxic, shit like that.
She was 14 when she was singing Toxic.
That's why we created a Christian version.
Of course. Save her immortal soul before it's too late.
Yeah. We should open with that.
Also, she doesn't really have to satisfy anyone but herself when she does that. So she doesn't have to
Yeah.
satisfy a manager or whatever. She's just doing it because she's feeling the vibe. But then on the way to this lovely recording I was looking forward to in the car, my mum said she'd had this discussion with my grandpa, and she said
About Britney and her art.
not about Britney particularly, it was about Bob Dylan, because she had read an article that he like won a Nobel Prize or something. It was also
Oh yeah, but that's another thing that we should.
we don't need to get into it, but because I think that when you do this and you create art, kind of creates an that you are not only able to sing. This is for people, I'm thinking, who do not write their own lyrics, and maybe, you know, everything is controlled for them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not able to sing, but you want to be seen as a creative person, as someone who makes works and, you know, has to, I don't know,
because I do feel like all these people who have, you know, got to the top of the top charts or whatever, they all started as musicians. They all started as people who just love to sing or write lyrics, and they've just been molded by their
but
agents.
Sometimes not even. Sometimes they just find like someone who's good looking, who's got a good voice, and they're like, we're going to rebrand you totally and completely. But then I think this making artwork on the side for them I would consider it a hobby, as you have a job which pays you, and you do not need to rely on this hobby to make your life. And it's not like, to me, an artist really is someone where it engulfs your whole life and it's everything, and, you know, you're walking through your life and you see things that inspire you and other people and all of that, and it's all about then putting it and projecting it into your artwork. Whereas for them, it's like it's not where their income needs to come from, and it's probably not where most of the satisfaction of like fulfillment has to come from.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, there's so many artists who are super disciplinary.
We're not dyslexic.
I just can't pronounce things.
And many of them are musicians. You just don't know about it.
Exactly. Like I have a few friends who, you know, knew from art school, and they have a band on the side. Or for example, Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love her. I know everyone hates her. I love her. I want to go to a concert.
She actually dropped out of Slade, which is an art school, in her second year, and decided that she wanted to be a singer instead.
Okay.
So there's this.
It's like a different way of creating.
Yeah, 100%. And it really depends on what genre you take. Like, even as an artist, you don't have to always listen to like experimental music. Like, there are artists who just fucking loves, you know, this 80s music, or like super cheesy 2000 music, and that's absolutely fine. I think it really depends on why are they making the art, I think.
But do you also think, like, in the past, you'd always hear about these eBay auctions being like, Christina Aguilera spat gum in a tissue, someone collected it, and now it's selling online for, you know, like £30,000, okay?
Or like PewDiePie's underwear, some shit like that.
Literally whatever, like literally Justin Bieber's used underwear, okay? And then you would hear about that, but like, I feel like I heard about it all the time. Whereas now it's like, they're able to control that a bit more maybe, and be like, hey, I'm making this, you could buy it, and then you would have a piece of me which is like an expression of myself. Like, maybe that's a bit better in a way than the gum situation. I don't know, to me those are quite, like, if I really was obsessed with someone like Charlie XCX, and she was like, I'm gonna do some prints, and they were nice, I would genuinely consider buying that.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I don't know if I would consider buying a gum. I wouldn't know what to do. I just don't know what you do with it. But like, then you can control more what is like your image and what's around you. And also, I read an article about this, and it said that art today is less about introspection and individual freedom, and it's now about communicating and influencing.
Okay.
And that artists who make these works do not need to, you know, they're doing their introspection and their self-expression, but they don't need that, like they don't need to push it and commercialize and influence because they are already famous.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think about that?
We live in a world where basically, if you want to be an artist, I don't know if it works that way with galleries, but if you want to be a musician, a writer, a filmmaker, whatever, it's no longer, you know, you're not as a record label, as a studio production, whatever, you're not longer fishing for talent. You're not looking at someone and be like, I'm going to invest in you because I think you can do it. It makes sense that you're no longer looking for people who can be like the voice of a generation. So maybe it's something like that in other disciplines other than music, literature, and all that. But that is an interesting thing you say, because like people who do this, you know, who fall into the routine of doing what sales so that a bigger fish will look at them and be like, okay, I will produce you, or I will publish your book, or whatever, are like losing that, like what's selling, and doing what they want to do, like in the sense of like their own personal stuff. And they're losing that like self-identity. And you can argue that's, you know, doing individualist art is a bit like neoliberal and all that.
Yeah.
I would personally rather do my own thing and not sell and just have another job or whatever, than fall into this routine of basically doing what the like producers and gatekeepers want me to do, and then if I'm good at it, maybe I can finally 10 years later be like, okay, can I finally do my thing? Am I enough famous now? So how this relates to what you were saying is that to me it makes sense that when you're already Britney Spears and like people are just gonna like see your stuff, and you need to create this interest in galleries to put your paintings or whatever, you can just paint whatever you want.
Yeah,
in that way it's releasing.
I also thought that it was interesting in terms of like many artists, many celebrities will collect artist work, and then that is a representation of their intellectual, whether they are, how in the know they are about certain artists or styles. And that's like a good way too of showing or of expressing that, because you'll also know like how much they paid for it, and usually you'll know how much they paid for it, or if it was a commission, or because it goes in the news, like Beyonce and Jay-Z bought this. So I think there was like, I read a thing that said they had like an Anna Mendieta, and they had like different really cool vibes. But then it shows,
where was this?
I read it, this was like an article where it said that they were like big art collectors. I think also
like the people who bought Britney Spears' work.
No, this is Beyonce and Jay-Z, who have like
they have an
art collection.
Okay.
And maybe that shows even more like if this is about knowledge of art, which it might not be, but like it shows their knowledge and like their interests, and like, no, I'm not good at this, but I can purchase it from someone who is good at it. I don't know.
That's it, because every time I read about a celebrity buying an artwork, I'm like, they have so much money, they just need to invest it in somewhere, and someone is telling them this is where to put it.
But you probably have to like it a bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course you have to like it a bit, but
and that in the end, like, who wouldn't like her
work?
There's
work where like there's no way you couldn't like it.
Like, it's so powerful.
That is a very good debate, because the question is, would you like something as much as if you didn't know it was by a big artist?
Probably. I mean, if it had substance, given that Beyonce herself is like,
but would it
massive...
be that valuable?
Yeah, for sure. Like, she's all about feminism. She's all about empowerment, and I think.
No, I'm not saying. Yeah, of course, but what I mean is that some works are arguably big because of who made them. They're not necessarily better than the production of so many other artists who are not like big already.
But they're not here to. Beyonce, Jay-Z are not here to buy every little piece of work that they like. They are also incredibly rich and would like something which they do want something that's a commodity and that will retain its value or even go higher. But I think it just also shows you're like, oh, that's so interesting. Like Anna Mendieta, like, why? Because it's not Jeff Koons. It's like,
it's not Damien Hirst.
I would like a list of every art celebrity who has.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's not an art celebrity like them. It's quite you know, it's not
It has substance.
Yeah,
it
there's like
has
something
historical
about it.
value. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, guys, you know, we did an episode where we spoke about Carl Andre.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I totally forgot that he was like charged with killing Anna Mendieta.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What?
he was like charged, but he was like told that like, in the end they couldn't prove it. But he was literally like, they went to trial.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
They were like either dating or like married. What?
Why did he want to kill her?
I don't know, but like I was talking about Carl Andre, that he was a cute old man.
Apparently not.
Like he's done some
because
stuff.
he was her husband.
Yeah, how weird is that?
She fell 33 stories. I didn't know she died like that.
Yeah,
That's
I know
horrible.
she died in a brutal way, because then it's like interesting in regards to her artwork, like how she died and then what her artwork is like. But I didn't realize it could have been Carl Andre, the minimalist.
So I shouldn't be laughing at this, but this is like insane. So apparently she fell 33 stories onto the floor, and just prior to her death, neighbors heard the couple arguing violently. And although there were no eyewitnesses to the events, there's a recording of Carl Andre's call to 911. And he said, "My wife is an artist and I am an artist, and we had a quarrel about the fact that I was more exposed to public than she was. And she went to the bedroom and I went after her and she went out of the window." How suspicious is that?
That is so. Why would you also tell your life story as you're there? Like you'd be like,
I love how you're like calling 911 because your wife just fell out of the window and you're like, so I have more exposure than she does. But
he's like, so I'm on the argument basically, but then she fell out the window. Weird.
Wow. Wow. I
By the way,
this.
send an ambulance maybe, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
buy my work.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting. And
my perception of Carl Andre is forever twisted.
I know, it changed for me.
I feel like we have to put a caption now in the description of the
movie. We need to go back to that episode and be like, okay, we condemn his acts. But then again, if he wasn't proven guilty.
But in your heart, how do you feel?
In my heart, I think that
he betrayed.
I think he could have. I don't sue us for defamation, but
Carl Andre's like typing right now, Mr. Lawyer.
Curious.
I will not give no comment about Carl Andre.
Okay, don't give a comment.
I am surprised about this.
Don't give a comment, but we know what you're thinking.
Yes.
I only have one more point about this episode, which is, you know, when like I don't know if any of you are the only creative person in your friendship group or the only person interested in art, but I am.
Yes.
I don't have, other than you guys, obviously, because you're my course friends. Like, I'm seeing if it will change to friends or not. I'm not sure, but like my friends think she's creative, so then I'll get messages being like, "Hey, I tore my dress. Do you think you could just stitch it back together?" But that's like, but like, you know, I've never claimed that I can use a sewing machine and I know how to sew, but I've never, you know, haven't revealed that information to them. But they'll just think, oh, she's creative, she'll know. Or I'll go to someone's house and they'll go, and my best friend, her mom, will be like, "Do you think this color chair would go with this?" And I'm like, "But I'm not an interior designer." But they'll just be like, "She's creative, like she must know."
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
You know, and you get asked things that you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but then
I mean, thankfully for me, my friends and family don't think writing is an art, so they leave me alone.
They're like, "Don't ask Javier what he does."
Yeah,
they just assume I can't do anything, which is true in part, but all the better for me.
But that thought, and like, if you are, you know, people like that, like they want to be creative because it's something that I think you either possess or you don't. Yep. And then, you know, people who don't have it are like, that's so
a controversial
cool.
Statement.
I honestly think you're born with a creative mind, or you're not. I think it's very hard to be taught. I don't think
you're either taught or learn to be creative.
But I'm not saying like you're taught how to draw, because whatever, people who are not creative can pick up a pencil. But I mean, just fundamentally that you'll see things in a different way than other people. Right. And I will recognize it in some people, and then some people definitely don't have it. And I recognize it in some of my friends who do not do art but study like medicine, and I'll be like, oh, I can see, but she's creative because she thinks this and that. I don't know. I think you're
Do you
born
not
with it.
think it's about how you're brought up?
I think
that helps.
I think it's a major social thing.
No, I don't think it's about how if that helps or not. I think it's completely dependent on your upbringing, your surrounding, your environment.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're growing up, because I do think everyone is born creative. Like as a child, you're often super curious about everything. It's about how your surrounding molds you into thinking like, oh, if you're interested in something, what your surrounding is telling you, stop being immature or harvest that. I think it's about that. I don't think it's about who's born creative or not.
Okay.
Because I'm the only creative one in my family.
Yeah.
So, and my upbringing was fairly strict. So I do wonder now, like, where for me the creative aspect then flourished.
Yeah, because you got there in the end.
Where you, because like,
you know?
Yeah, but like, for example, to me, my parents never give a shit about arts, like at all. And my brother and I, growing up, we were very like. Now that I look back, we could have and maybe should have ended in art school, because my brother and I, during our entire childhood, we were like drawing, painting. We did like a shit ton of movies with like a shitty camera and stuff like that. Like, the potential was there, but I think it was because my parents were like, about art, that we never like took it very far. And the one thing that I ended up doing was writing, because I was just stubborn that way. But my brother,
you have to like writing, like, you know, you have to like it a lot to sit and do it and write a book.
Well, but I think it's the same thing with a painting. You like, have you ever tried? Well, you have, but like, for me, for example,
have you ever painted, Christy?
Have you ever painted, Christy? Have you even?
I don't
But like,
know.
for example, when I sit in front of a canvas, I've tried painting because my girlfriend paints. So I guess it's the same thing. You just find the thing you want to do, the thing that best allows you to express yourself or whatever, and then you just put time into it. That's what separates the people who are going pro and the people who are like, oh yeah, I'm a painter.
But I don't think this, like, I get the thing about then pursuing it professionally, because my parents were very keen on us doing art, and I've done art classes my whole life, and if I've said I like something, like, we've gone and done it. I learned how to paint religious icons on glass, like with the special traditional method. I'll send you guys a picture of one.
That is the most valuable skill I've
It's just so random, but I was like, oh, that sounds cool, and then we did it. So I've done all these things and ultimately come out. I love to draw, like I can draw all day, but I like also learning so much about art. So it has been nurtured, and I'm sure I would have got there somehow, maybe not to this extent, but I honestly, I swear some people are born with a thing in them that's like, there's something creative or there isn't. And it can be people who study like medicine, it can be people who are engineers. I think you have to be creative a tiny bit to be an engineer, but it's like an accountant. You can have that even if you do something totally different, but I feel like you're born with it, because sometimes I meet people and I'm like, what the fuck are you saying?
I disagree. I think it's something that is socially embedded in people, and you can either be very lucky and naturally find influences that make you artsy and creative, or you can be brainwashed by parents who just wanted you to be an accountant, and then you
why
just
can't you say that about having a scientific mind, which I do not have in any way?
That's the thing, that instead of like having your parents very, very keen on you doing arts, they like, since you were like 4, they were like teaching you, like, I don't know, like the bones in the body or the names of the stars.
That stuff, maybe I'm not like, I have throughout school tried my hardest. Maths, everything, I am just not good at. Tutors, we've tried everything. It's like not something I can do. I cannot do maths in my head. I can't be asked. It doesn't make sense to me. I need an accountant. Like, I can't do these things.
I mean, obviously there's a sense of, yes, you are technically somewhat born with certain things that you can do well.
Like when I saw a sleep specialist recently, I said to him, like, I get night terrors, I sleepwalk, I sleep talk, I have very vivid dreams. And he said, are you like artistic or are you creative? I said, yeah. And she was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So it feels like I was born. with
don't think he
this
made
in
it
my
that way.
brain.
But I feel like same
It was connected.
with music. I mean, or with rhythm. I mean, it's something that either you just feel or you like dancing as well. It's something that you feel or you just don't. And I think no matter how much you get nurtured into maybe liking music or maybe liking art, if it doesn't trigger you in some way, I think you can be nurtured as much as you can. It won't go through as
I agree with that, because everyone's an architect here. I'm not interested at all. I'm not interested in buildings. I'm not interested in that. But that is what I've been shown my whole life.
But couldn't you say that subconsciously you're like rebelling the?
No, because I would have done it. Like, it's not like I'm rebelling by doing something creative.
That's why I said subconsciously.
It would have been rebelling. Would have been like, I'm going to go do maths.
Right.
But that has never appealed to me, because I've seen the amount of numbers, spatial awareness, which I do not have, and all of that.
Or maybe because you're so exposed to it all the time, you've grown annoyed and want to stay away from it. It's kind of like,
I don't know, guys. That's my thought. I wanted to relate that thought to, if like someone like Britney is, I thought maybe she's born creative, or it's just something therapeutic for her. Like, I just thought that was interesting. If you're born,
I think there's definitely like a distinction between, because she said it's therapeutic. I don't think anyone who makes art find art therapeutic.
Yeah, because I don't think artists are like, I just feel like I need something therapeutic. I'll just bang out pieces of artwork.
Exactly. Like if I need a moment for myself, for myself mentally, I wouldn't go for a painting. I would just fucking lie down flat.
Every time I'm upset or sad or something, I just write. It's like how I naturally like digest it.
It's nap time if I'm upset. It's nap time.
Exactly.
I know. If I feel like any emotion, I have to go take photographs. I have to visualize that. And if I feel, that's my escape.
Yeah.
I see.
I guess ultimately everyone is different.
Yeah, the conclusion is that we don't know anything.
I wish I could be really like emotional and then be like, I'm gonna go express my feelings on paper, but I'm like, I don't feel good. Like, I want to go sleep. I want to go for a walk. I want to go and do something totally different and outside of my space, and then I can come back and deal with it. I need some escapism. Well, that was really like all I had written. I thought it was an interesting thing to talk about, maybe not in a drinking episode, because like, this is really serious, and celebrities always come out and are like, I'm a painter now. So I just thought, are they? What is it?
I think there's a difference between, nurturing something since you're very little, and giving like hours and hours and years of your life without you really knowing it. Like, I don't know, someone who's listening to music since they're like 4 and really listening to it, get it better than people who just, I want to learn guitar when I'm 35 or not. You never know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like,
they to pick it up.
If you spend your entire life being Britney and like singing and all that, and you suddenly say, I want to paint now, it only makes sense that you have a more developed ear and musical skill.
Yeah, I get
painting.
what you mean. Like, but for her, as she says, it's therapy for her. It's like, I want to feel good. This is nice. Whereas I don't think, as Chrissy said, I don't think Chrissy's like, I need to chill. I've got to pick up a painting and go.
No.
So
I mean, I think it's, well, for Britney's case, I think it's really specific.
I love
to
how
her.
this is like really properly about like Britney's case.
Yeah.
Like, how are we gonna? What's it mean?
Yeah, because like the work that got sold for $10,000, it was sold to this guy called Robin Leach, who was a British entertainment reporter.
Okay.
So there's this element of, he is doing that because firstly it's for charity.
Yeah.
So it's marketing for himself as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because he's in the entertainment business.
And then he has a piece of Britney, like if he bought her gun.
Yeah. And also I read an article on Dazed about the Britney thing. And so they've actually gone full ham and like asked therapist to look at her work, asked an art historian from Cambridge to look at the work, and also asked a commercial guy who basically runs the British art fair. The therapist said that she looks really fucking happy because there's 4 fucking flowers and they're all very,
Wow.
Happy.
Man, wow.
This guy
and then,
really med school,
He's good.
10 years of med school, and he's like, flowers happy.
Yeah, and the art historian, he was like, bold strokes, but it's very like childish. You don't know.
It's
it
naive.
might not. Yeah,
Wait,
it's
using the
naive.
word naive.
Da Vinci
Yeah.
did it better.
But and then the British art fair guy, he was like, that is not going into my art fair.
Well, I'll be
He
honest.
was like, this is a Jeff Koons.
If you,
Yeah.
it is that commercial, colourful. Everyone will like it. Kind of, not everyone will like it, but
Do you think everyone will like it? Because
I think not.
I think most
not
people would be
us.
like, what the fuck?
Not us. But like you average person's gonna be like, that's so colourful and nice. Like I like that. That's why people like Jeff Koons and stuff like that. So colourful, so bold, so big. Like I can understand. Like,
I actually think people like Jeff Koons because he manages to convince them it's like
art
and like very profound. But I don't like, every time I look at a Jeff Koons, I'm like, this is the ugliest thing I've seen in my life.
I'm
I
just,
cannot
like, fed
understand how
up.
people are like, this is beautiful.
it's boring.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. He can sue us. Sue
Yes,
us.
sue
Jeff Koons.
us.
Sue us.
We have no money anyway. We don't have
Yeah.
jobs.
I have nothing to lose, Jeff.
Yeah.
Come at me, bro.
Okay, guys. Well, we can wrap it up because I feel we've
long.
said what needs to be said on
Yeah.
Brit Brit.
Yeah.
Covered a lot of ground.
Hopefully
I think this is one of the most like
random
intense in the sense of like so many like
opinions.
personal
Topics
opinions shared.
and-
Yeah, we've ever done.
Yeah, I loved it.
Thank you, Britney, for this.
Thank you, Brittany, because you brought us closer together.
You are
Again.
inspirational. I think she
Yes.
is like pretty fucking sick as a person.
Yeah, I want to
Like
know.
given the fact that what she's been through
Yeah.
and being in the 2000s as a kind of like a singer with all these like rumors and shit. and how-
I think expectations contracts things that were put onto her from
yeah.
a young age. Like I would honestly probably crack as well. She has a hot boyfriend now. Everything's good.
Yeah. Also, I was just thinking, do you reckon she's kind of like one of the people that made the public realize that celebrities are also human?
Yeah.
Remember that period
Yeah.
of time when that guy was like, Britney!
Yeah,
That
like
guy
leave
was
Britney alone.
Yeah, leave Britney alone. I think that was kind of like, I feel like that was the point.
I
when
know.
people
I think
recognized-
also it opens your eyes to how the industry just was like creating an image, doing everything for her, but then
Yeah.
forcing her to do it and kind of
Yeah.
like a puppet.
Yeah.
and
and
how
she's-
that kind of contributed to
I mean, how
fucking
that's
up
affected
her
her.
I mean,
mental health.
when you think about it, this whole thing of like humanizing the celebrity is not that old. Like,
No, it's
I
not.
know,
I feel like,
it's less-
but
I-
also
it
they
must
have
have been less
social
than 10
media.
years.
Now they can put on social media,
Right.
hey, if
Yeah.
anyone's seen this, it's not even true. Like I did.
and I see
never
so
did
many
that.
actors and like musicians and stuff opening YouTube channels where they just blog their everyday life and stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
yeah.
imagine having that with Marilyn Monroe or one of these like super iconic celebrities. Like the myth
Yeah.
would completely crumble apart.
Yeah.
You'd be like, she's human. What?
Yeah.
Which is a good
And
thing.
I think that's
but-
that's so important. And I mean, it kind of became a bit annoying where it kind of evolved into like everyone's opinion matters, no matter how fucking stupid it is.
oh yeah.
Including us doing a podcast thinking that our opinions matter.
Yeah.
it's
fuck
so
fuck us. Honestly.
But yeah, I feel like she's the first person who kind of managed to demystify the whole issue, because back then obviously artists had breakdowns, but then they'd be like, oh, because he's an artist.
Yeah, like
Just,
he's just
his genius coming out.
Yeah, exactly. But really, yeah, I think for her, or at least for me, I felt like, oh, celebrities are human. We
Right.
need to respect their privacy.
Thank
Yep.
you for listening. Subscribe on YouTube, like the video. It means more to us actually if you follow us on like Spotify and those platforms. Follow us on Instagram. Send us a message. We'll respond honestly, like probably within 1 minute. I love you. Thank you for listening.
Hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. If you especially loved our episode, we would love it if you gave it a 5-star rating and a review, and even consider taking a screenshot of this episode and posting it on your Instagram stories. That way we know that you loved it and other people can find our podcast as well. If you're not subscribed yet, again, what are you doing? Subscribe and get notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Chart Podcast, and if you want to see our faces while we talk, find us on YouTube at Chart Podcast as well. We are Chart, and we'll hope we'll meet you again at some point in the near future. Take care. Chart out.
Love you.
See you.
Love
See you
you.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.